Everybody was kung fu fighting. All right, buckle up. We got Kara Nicole here. Says, let's talk being car poor. Yeah, seriously, let's talk about it. Blow this little mama up. Let's party.
Car commercials are insane when you really think about it.
Yeah.
First off, they try to talk like this and make it seem like buying a car is the most transformative decision of your life,
Amen.
while simultaneously being something you just do.
I just got to know, who in the shit has ever just bought somebody a car with a bow on it? I just want to know, for real. If somebody bought me a car, put a bow on it, I'd be a little upset. Just saying.
You on a whim. The whole, honey, I surprised you with a car commercial trope is especially insane because who is out there surprising their family members with a $60,000 car? For most people, that is not a surprise type of purchase. That is a sit down and deeply discuss while reviewing your budget type of purchase. SNL made a hilarious sketch about this exact commercial phenomenon a few years ago, and it is surprisingly a great peek into the topic of being car poor that we are going to talk about today.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Are you kidding me, Nathan? Did you seriously buy a car without asking me?
For Christmas.
This is a major purchase.
Give the gift of Lexus and definitely talk it over first.
With the average monthly car payment
Yo, I feel like if I were to do that as a man, obviously, and put a bow on the car, I feel like the chick, you know, the icks, girls got the icks, right there. She would dump you. She'd go, why'd you dump him? He bought me a car with a bow on it. Gay. Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there, okay? I can't get over the bow stuff. I've never seen that in history of time. I don't even think that's real. What is the average car payment per month?
totaling
Expensive.
$737 for new cars and $520 for used, cars need to be seen for what they truly are.
Yeah.
A huge financial burden that can wreck your finances if done wrong. Yeah. What's ironic about all of this is in those insane car commercials and in our cultural mentality as a whole, cars are viewed as a symbol of success and freedom.
Yep.
And yet, for most people, cars end up being an absolute money trap that they do not see coming.
You can take that fake apology and shove it right up your hairy.
So what exactly
Loser.
is car poor, and how do we avoid the traps of being car poor? Very excited to talk about this in today's video because cars are such a huge part of people's finances, and their costs can cause many people to not be able to save enough money. But for some reason, I feel like they do not get enough attention. You know, we hear a lot about daily lattes or avocado toast, but we seem to ignore these big ticket items in the conversation. Things like cars, which we're talking about today, and things like buying a house, which is something that I covered in one of my recent videos on being house poor. Go check.
Yep. You own a house, you own a car, you're broke. You know what my favorite is? Is when people talk about gas prices. It's like, what? Gas has been the same price for 10 years. I'm honestly kind of tired of hearing about it, to be realistic. Don't believe me. Look it up. Okay? Or maybe it's because I lived in California 10 years ago, and I'm just used to $4 a gallon. And then I live in South Florida. It's like $3, $3.50. I'm like, we're still chilling. This is 10 years ago. Sorry. It's just something that kind of pisses me off. Throw that in there with eggs. Yeah. Like bitching about groceries and gas. That's like the least of my worries. No offense. I'm just saying.
Check out that video after you watch this one, by the way. There's been some really great conversations in the comment section on that video.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep up with all my videos about money and media and culture, be sure to hit that
And sex. I'm just kidding. Most women will do that now. You know, click my link.
subscribe button to keep up. I'm also coming out with a newsletter this month that dives more into topics around money and culture. I'm very, very excited about it. I think you guys are really gonna like it, especially if you like these videos. So go to my description box for more information on how to subscribe to that. Okay, so first off, the definition of being car poor is spending beyond one's means on a car. That might look like owing more on an auto loan than the car is even worth, or paying more for your car than your income is worth, or it can just mean that yes, you can technically technically pay off your car every month, but it is leaving you financially tight, maybe even forcing you to live paycheck to paycheck. A great example is Ross Geller from Friends. If you guys remember my financial audit of the Friends characters, you'll remember that Ross impulsively bought a red sports car for his 30th birthday. Well, when you do the math, you realize that Ross was totally car poor because of that decision. Yeah, he had a great job as a professor, making probably around $80,000 a year or around $4,500 a month after taxes. But once you account for car payments and insurance and maintenance in New York City parking, Ross was likely spending around $1,500 a month, or a third of his take-home pay, just on that car.
Ross, a sports car? Wouldn't it have been cheaper to just stuff a sock down there?
An impractical car at that. And you might be thinking, well, if he can still make his car payments, what's the problem? All right, saying he's car poor is a tad overdramatic. But the thing is, experts recommend keeping transportation costs under 15% of your budget. Overspending puts you at risk. If your brakes fail or a home repair pops up, you might have no financial cushion, forcing you to put expenses on a credit card. Plus, cars come with hidden costs that add
Under 15%? Hold on one second. We got to do some math up in here, man. Let's say you're making $5,000 a month. Hold on, let me get the calculator out. All right. What's 15%, she said, times 0.15. Okay, so that's, if you're making $5,000 a month, $750 a month. Sounds like most people are doing exactly that.
add up really fast. Unfortunately, too many people have no idea where their money is going, let alone how much money is going toward their car. Whoa, well, now that is not true, for me at least. I, for one, know exactly where my money is going. Oh geez, that's my financial nemesis, Hat Kara. She wears hats and makes money mistakes like nobody's business. Hat
You can never trust a bitch wearing a hat. Wedding crashers.
Kara, do you even track your spending? Do you have a financial plan? Not exactly. It's more of a vibes-based plan. Vibes-based, gotcha. It doesn't have to be so hard. You could use today's sponsor.
All right, we're going to have to cut this out. She's doing a whole bit. I respect that, though. I respect the bit. I do. We're gonna keep fast forwarding though through this sponsorship.
The same thing is happening to big car purchases too. And I think it's worth asking why we keep on falling for the car poor traps. I mean, Reddit is chock full of car poor stories. Like this one where the poster shares that they spend $1,150 a month on their truck. Or this person who wrote about their $477 a month payment for a Jeep, saying it was, quote, probably worst financial decision of my entire life. It's hard to read these and make sense of what was going on through these people's brains. I mean, how does over $1,000 a month of car payments ever sound like a good idea, especially for something that depreciates in value over time? The common claim is that new cars lose 10% or more of their value the minute that you leave the dealer's lot. I mean, think of all the things that you could buy with $1,000 a month. Weekend getaways, half of your rent, dinners out with friends.
Half of your rent. I'll tell you why. It's hard when everybody else is doing it. Why'd the chicken cross the road? All his friends were doing it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And you know what? I get it. Like, I drive kind of a hoopty. I got two cars, but they're both old cars. And, am I going to pull up in my 2007 and people are going to be like, oh, that guy makes a lot of money. No, they're not. They're not. They're just not. They're not. But I'm cool with that. Like she said, you know what else you could spend $1,000 on? A lot, actually. I eat really well. Most of my money goes to food. Food and sex, aka my girlfriend. But yeah, that's the truth. Most people don't want to. I get it. I understand. I drive an older car. Like, I understand, but I don't care if people think I don't make any money, right? I don't care. My pockets are nice. Whatever.
Or from an investing standpoint, throw $500 a month into S&P 500, and in 15 years, you would have nearly $200,000. Do 30 years instead, and you have nearly $1 million. And that is just if you decided to do a $500 a month payment instead of a $1,000 one. $500 is still a huge car payment to be tethered to. But what people don't always realize when signing on to buy or lease a car is just how expensive these suckers can really be. Going back to that SNL commercial that we showed earlier, it's easy for us to get anchored onto the duet signing cost and forget about all of the monthly payments that we're gonna have to do for years after.
How much did you spend on this ridiculous car, Nathan?
It was only $39.99 to its signing. $4 grand. It's not that much, babe.
And how much is the monthly payment?
The what?
Did you think this entire car cost $4,000?
Uh-huh.
There's a monthly payment.
Yeah, but with the 0% APR, I think it's all good.
APR? Do you mean APR?
I'm pretty sure it's APR.
Wow.
By the way, APR, or APR that they're talking about, that stands for annual percentage rate, and it equals the borrowing cost for when you take out a loan to buy a car. The APR that you can get on a car loan will depend on how good your credit score is. This chart breaks down the most recent APR averages depending on your credit score, and it is jaw-dropping. Even at the best credit score level, you are still looking at around 5 to 7% interest rate. But say you have a worse off credit score, you could be looking at 15 to 20% annual interest rate. For reference, let's say that someone
Yeah, in other words, everybody's getting fucked. Bent right over. All right, we're going to skip forward and then get into some comments.
The low upfront cost felt affordable, but the high APR makes the car way more expensive in the long run. And that's not even factoring in costs like insurance, maintenance, registration fees. Do enough digging online and you'll find plenty of people who are speaking up about how overwhelming the car expenses are, especially when they finance their vehicle.
Although I don't completely regret my decision to finance a car, I do want to de-influence you if you are somebody who's in the process or who is looking into financing a vehicle.
That's not to say that financing your car is never the right decision. For some, it might be the only way to afford a car. But if we go down the financing route,
Yeah, like for instance, if you're getting a truck and that truck is going to make you money, then that probably makes sense. Like if that truck's going to make you way more money than you were making, that makes sense. But if you're going to buy a car to do Uber,
we have to consider the terms of the loan, like how long is it and what's the APR. And we have to consider whether the car that we're buying is really worth it, especially if the loan is worth more than the car, which happens way more than you would think. According to the Washington
that literally happens to everybody. This chapter says, I thought it said, why are we falling for this? Wait, where does it say, why are we falling for this? Yeah, why are we falling for it? I don't know. Everybody else is fucking doing it. That's why. All right, let's go to the comments real quick. Kara Nicole, everybody, give her a like. Don't forget to sign up for her newsletter. We'll go ahead and like that. All right, let me see. Okay. This dude goes, the fastest way to being broke and staying broke is to try and look rich. Warren Buffett. You can't take advice from Warren Buffett. Dude's a billionaire. What the fuck? He's not wrong, though. Okay. The person at my company with the highest income drives an old rusty Ford Focus. The rocker panels are literally falling off the car. Yeah, that's the classic. Dude, I can't tell you how many people I know. They have way nicer cars than me. And they make much less money. Okay. I was hitting it with a $5,000 car. Wait, okay. I was hit with a $5,000 car repair bill, quote, years ago, panicked, and traded in and got a new car. It wasn't until I later realized what a ridiculous decision I had made. It's the classic. Reliable car. It's like, how often does your car really break down? I mean, seriously. Like, for real. I bought a car once just to prove a point. I bought this old 1997 Cadillac for $4 grand. Just to prove a point. I drove that bitch for like 8 months straight. Not one repair, nothing. I had to get rid of it because of a parking situation. But my point with that car was I could just buy a new $4,000 to $6,000 car every year and save money versus having $700 car payments. They could actually spend less money just buying a a $5,000 car every year. Now, was it the sexiest car? Not really. But it was just to prove a point. You know, that's my favorite, too, when people go, oh, I don't carry cash. It's dangerous. When is the last time you got fucking robbed or jumped? Probably never. What, once in your life? Come on, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've been jumped by 9 men before. It happens. One time in 35 years? Come on, dude. Get out. Like, the same concept is what I'm saying. Okay. If my honey surprises me with a car out of nowhere, they can go surprise the shop. Okay, whatever. Sold my car when I moved back to the city. I've been riding a bike and used transit for the last 4 years. Saved me thousands of dollars. I'm a car person, so I'm just going to have a car, but no car payment for me. I'm currently paying off my car at an aggressive rate. While the normal payment is just over $400, I've been paying $2,000 a month to pay it off early. Jesus Christ. Smart decision. Car guy here. Another thing that has always been a thing, but has gotten worse in the recent years is car makers wanting to make it harder to work on your own car. They also are trying to make it illegal. Yeah, like the right to repair stuff. That's the best. It's like, yeah, you could buy it, but it's never really yours. I guess that's car payments. Hi, former Acura sales rep here. This is spot on. I don't know how many people we signed up for payments they could barely afford. Usually rolling into negative equity. Yeah, most people, if you buy most people, you're going to go negative no matter what. Like, that's why I just buy 10-year-old plus cars, because it's already shit the bed completely. So my 2007 that I bought for $9,000, $9,600, what, in 3 years it'll be worth $7,000? So what? I lost $2,000. Who gives a fuck? But like you, or not you, but metaphorically, you, the other guy, $45,000 car. Come on, dude. It's gonna be worth. Yeah. I'll buy that same $45,000 car when it's 10 years old for fucking $15,000. You know, same car. You know. Here we go. After watching this, I've realized I've taken for granted having a mechanic for a dad. Oh, yeah. You always want to have a handy father around. That's one way to get ahead in life. This is very insightful. As a car enthusiast, vehicles have always been cheap for me. Being able to do repairs myself, knowing ahead of time and planning. Even if the... I get so worked up with the... Like, dude... Unless you're buying a BMW or a Mercedes or some kind of foreign automobile that isn't Toyota or Honda, your car's not just breaking down left and right. Like, it's just not, dude. It's fucking not. I've had like 15 cars in my life because I like cars. And they've all been old cars, right? Most of the time I sell them for what I got them for. Or a little bit less. Dude, never. I had like one transmission in my life could go out. $3,500. Big fucking deal. The thumbnail, like compared to, you know, your car payments, the point. $600 a month, 12 months, substantially more than a new transmission for a Ford or a Honda. I almost bought a new car recently. The salesman was really pressuring me to sign, so I asked him, what's the rush? And he dead ass told me, that's the best, I've got targets to hit. At least he made the decision easy for me. Yeah, true. They don't give a fuck. I just got a 2011 sedan with 100,000 miles for $2,500. It has hail damage, but at the end of the day, it's a car to get me from one point to another. Yeah, I'm going to leave this chick's information down below, but Kara Nicole from downtown. But yeah, man, I'm past the point of driving a full-blown hoopty. Like, if it's necessary, you should do it. But you can get... I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can get a good car. Actually, you know what? We're going to look this up right now. How about that? We're going to fucking blow this up. Hold on. No, I'm going to find you guys a decent car right now. Check this out. We're going to go... This is a great car. Ford Fusion for sale. Hold on. Oh, no. We're going to get you a good car right now. Super reliable car for cheap. Look at that. First one on the fucking list, dude. Look at that. Oh, I typed in Ford Fusion. I'm tripping out. But look, 2020 Ford Fusion Titanium. Titanium, man. 14 grand. How many miles on that, though? 88,000 miles. So, for instance, my 2017 Ford Fusion, 250,000 miles. Not one engine problem. Not one transmission problem. Nothing. I wouldn't go older than like a 2017 or 2016. Look at this. 2017, under 100,000 miles, 10 grand. These cars are great. You don't have to get a fucking rust bucket. Okay? It's not what I'm trying to say here. Anyways, shout out to Kara Nicole. Solid talk. Thanks to everybody who bought a shirt. The new Caddy Daddy shirts are out. Got them in the mail. Was out of town for like a week. And a little vacation. No, nothing crazy. Also, if you want to invest in yourselves, talk about that. Get yourself some gold. Okay? I do a monthly thing. Atlas Bullion, link down below. It's like a subscription-based dollar cost averaging. Gold gets sent to your house every month. Next thing you know, you got golden doubloons. They actually appreciate in value versus just throwing away into a car that, just makes you look cool. Gold. You'll be a pirate, dude. The fuck? What are you thinking? Solid talk. Unreal.